we have a problem.
Hello, pilots. Welcome to another episode of Droid podcast. This is number 5 today. And we'll continue ranking pilots from Hotshots Aces II. The pack that came the last, I assume. Right, Deb?
Yeah. Welcome, listeners. We will we will rank it again. We will rank it again in the S A B C tier. For anyone not knowing what this means, S is basically a pilot which is borderline auto include or very, very strong, dominating at least every other pilot in its chassis. A is a very good piece that you can slot into any list without
overall good pilot.
Overall good pilot, yeah. B is solid, playable. It has its use cases, but you need to tailor your list more specifically to that pilot and to make the most out of its ability. And then C is basically non-playable or in very, very few cases, and you need really good skills to leverage the pilot and overcome its limitations, for example.
Yeah, as you may have noticed, we made a slight break in our episode schedule. A lot of things were going on at that time. Deb, for example, visited New York. How did you like it?
Very nice city.
Yeah, from talking before the episode started, you told me that it was overwhelming.
It's a very, very interesting experience. And of course, we have had a lot of X-Wing Legacy things going on too. We were preparing the points release, several articles, we had overhauled the website.
Points sheets, documents.
Sochi did a fantastic work there. And
thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you really did good work. And of course,
for you.
I mean, we can show the website in the background shortly. It got a lot. The colors changed and it got wetter.
Yeah, for those who are watching us, I'm showing the website right on the screen. Blue got turned into red, and I really liked it because the blue was not the best choice.
Yeah, and lastly, of course, I was very busy with working on the new white space mode.
Yeah, and for those who didn't check it out, we have a state of the game discussion article on our website live. It's very interesting and has a lot of backstage information about how the X2PO team was forming and was living for the past year, and how it evolved in the end, what it is now and what will be in the future. So go there and read it.
And lastly, we converted Siege of Coruscant Siege of Coruscant at Battle of Yavin scenarios. We have also an article explaining every single rule change we did in order to convert it to 2.0 on the website too.
Yeah, you can go to Rules tab. We have a section specific for this battle scenarios conversion, and there you can find PDFs with additional rules that let you play in 2.0.
Okay, then I would say we have feedback from a listener you wanted to show.
Oh yeah, right. From our in the last episode, we asked you to make your own tiers with the pilots from Hotshots Aces II, specifically Republic and Separatist faction, but I like to call it Confederacy of Independent Systems, not Separatists. And it was one person, Pasha. Hello, I'm showing it right on the screen, and I will describe it since Deb is not not able to see it. Pasha made Dirge into tier S. We made it into tier A in our episode, and there are many reasons for that. But I know Pasha loves Dirge a lot, and he has most of other pilots on point with us. For A, he chose our Aura in Fire Spray, the Iron Assembler in Vulture, Volandas in Tree Fighter, and Adigala in Esperite, Delta 7. B tier is Holdouts, Seiko in LAT, and Slammer in V19. And the C place is for Kid Fisto and the other N1 starfighter. I forgot his name.
It was Gavin Sykes.
Yeah, right. The picture is blurry, so it's not very readable. But yeah, thanks a lot, Dolce, for sharing with us your tier. It really like it really pleases us that you're listening and watching.
Yeah, and we would love to have more feedback with from the community and interacting more with the community, of course.
Yeah, right now we're deciding themes for our episodes by ourselves, and it will be much cooler if you connect to us and tell us what you want to listen to. So let's proceed to our actual ranking.
Yep. So we start with the Rebel faction with Cohen Horn. He is an Ep5 X-Wing with the ability that after you declare the defender of an attack, if you have a lock on the defender, friendly ship may transfer the lock token from you to the defender. So basically, he can, if you lock him early, he can, and he attacks someone, he can use that lock as an action for himself, which is very thematic. It's more or less a one-to-one copy of the old Rogue Squadron books I love to read. And I ranked him in A because it's in an E5 bio X-Wing, and with his ability, you can get guns on target easily, and basically your first attack is double modded, which could be interesting. He's one of the few X-Wings, I think, where proton torpedoes make sense, because
why are you saying his attack is double modded?
Because where after you declare the you attack someone, and
yeah, so friendly ships target lock Horn at round 1, and then when when Corn attacks, friendly locks got transferred to the target. So Corn will be only Corn have only target lock at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at least he can get it off more reliably.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that he's an A because it's an X-Wing, a sturdy ship with a good attack, high initiative, and he's really supportive, as most of the rebels are. And rebels have pretty good access to extra focuses. So K-Wings, A-Wings, X-Wings also, they can share focuses and make a lot of double modded attacks from Coron.
Yeah, and because that's what I'm. You can get the double mod easily, and you can reliably get the lock on chips, which is very good. And like that could make one of the few X-Wings where perhaps you can think about a proton torpedo. Normally it's very, very costly, but on here it could make sense.
Yeah, sure. So it's solid A. I agree with you.
Yeah. And
Okay.
for the point cost of 55 point, 50, that would be too expensive. 40, 50, 45. Yeah. It's really cheap because like the normal X-Wing is so 40 points and you have to just pay 5 points more, and even with a weaker ability that would be worth it just for the initiative alone.
Yeah. So let's move to the next pilot. The first one from the Imperial side will be Magna Tolvan. It's a Thailand fighter, and I put it in B. So the ability reads, while you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can perform white actions even while stressed. And the second part, after you gain a stress token, you may perform a white action if able. So basically, this TIE Fighter Magna 12 can perform actions anytime, basically. So it's a TIE Fighter. It's very versatile. You can count on it in every round, but it's still a TIE Fighter. So not much you can do with it. Even if you take some toys like targeting computer, it's still one action. And that's why I put it in B. It's good. It's good for what it is, but you can't rely on it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think like for the price point it's good, but in the end it's like you don't get you get in the action, you get the action more reliably, but you don't get any more actions or any more special things other than situationally, if you gain a stress token, you get another action. And no, you don't get another action. You basically get still your one action that reliably, but nothing extra.
Yeah, and he still has a focus in the K turns, and the output is better overall than generic TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next one from Rebels.
Yeah, then move to Keo Venice.
Yeah, what's your...
Yeah, just one day. The well-known or a known character from the fantastic game Quadrants.
Oh yeah.
And a very thematic ability too. If you have no active force, after you rely a bank or a turn maneuver, you may increase the difficulty of the maneuver. If you do perform that maneuver as a side slip and recover force. Force is non-rechargeable, meaning you need to make a side slip to recover the force, and you need to spend the force to do the side slip. And in while attacking or defending, that's also another thing. So I grouped it at B because she's actually 35 points. I grouped it at B because like she is a very good blocker, but the thing which I think holds her back from being A, because I think good blockers can be A, is that that sometimes you need to get this the force off, and sometimes perhaps there's a good opportunity for a side slip, but you can't get the force off, which then isn't a bit unreliable.
Yeah.
Mm,
So if you have something like HMP or sensitive controls interceptor, you can reliably park in front of obstacle and then get away with it.
or block reliably, because you can do it anytime if there's room.
Yeah, yeah. I played Kyo once and she died before doing something important. Yeah, and Force didn't save her. she couldn't spread it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not rechargeable. Like, I love the design space. I think there could be more things like where Force isn't rechargeable and you need to do something to recharge it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, it's MB, especially as the points in the A wing as our point space is very crowded, so there's a lot of competition. And for example, for the same price, you are getting Wedge, which is an initiative more, and yeah, has a way better ability, or
Yeah,
at least a more reliable ability. Like, it doesn't have any condition
yeah,
other
sure.
than primary.
And it's important to know that Kyo is force sensitive. She's not a force user, so no force talent, and you can't reliably spend the force
Yeah,
with
I
force
think
talents.
so. You would take other A-wings first, but if you are looking for a good blocker more than anything else,
If you are tired of Arval Crinit.
yeah, yeah. If you don't,
Yeah, but
yeah,
I also think that it's a really fun ability.
yeah, it's definitely a fun ability, very thematic, and like that for if you want a good blocker, Arvel, I would say, isn't such a good blocker. He is a bit different. He can, like, he is a bit more offensive. She is, I think, more like, if you want to reliably block opponents and deny their actions, then she's a better choice. If you want to have like a blocker who has a good offensive ability, then you take Abel.
Yeah. So for the next pilot from the Empire will be Flight Leader Ubel. And I put him in B for specific reason. So it's TIE Brood. I really love this ship and the design, but it has its flaws, of course. Flight Leader Ubel is Initiative 5, and the ability reads: after a friendly ship at range 0 to 2, defense, if it was dealt a damage card, you may perform a bonus attack against the attacker. So basically, you pair him with Imperial ships with no shields, and if someone shoots them, you shoot back with a bonus attack. And since brutes are often flown with cannons, their attack is pretty strong, and you can take configuration for target assist and get, for example, target lock, and then calculates and shoot with sync laser cannons. They are really powerful in initial engagements, especially. But it's still a TIE Brute. What does it mean? It's 8 hull without shields, and it's pretty a big target. Yes, he's fast, but still medium base, and a really specific flight pattern with forward back cannons, like turret. So you can easily focus him if you are not positioning him right. So he will use ability on himself and then die in one round. It's pretty easy to pull off, and you need a lot of experience flying them to not let that happen, and let your opponent decide who to shoot. So it pairs well without strikers, for example, and interceptors if you want to get them some kind of guarantee that they won't be shot at. So I put it at B because he gets stronger from your list, and overall it's B. But if your lists place around it and you position it well, it kind of A, I say.
I agree. I mean, like, I could see the argument for just having him flat out A, but like you said, it's for A you need too much of the skill floor is too high. Like one thing which I would describe chips for the chips which are in the A category have is that you don't need too much of a skill to use it and justify it in the cost or have it in A. With this, like you said, you need skill, you need practice, but then it can be easily A.
Yeah, I've flown against him once, and it was at least especially using his ability, and I lost, and it was really fun. It really made me choose between targets.
Yeah. Then I would continue on with the next, decidedly more B ship or pilot, I think. Pops Cradle and Y-Wing. After you fully execute a wide maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, it may perform a focus action. I think the thing with him is, which I classified him as B, it's a good supportive ability, but it's Rebel. So, like, this ability, I don't know, in Scum, for example, I could see better because Scum has less supportive abilities, and I think, bigger ships, so it triggers more easily, or you often fly. You can easily fly big ships where it triggers well. And yeah, the thing it has quite restrictions attached. You need to fully execute a wide maneuver, so you don't have to be bumped, and you are limited by your flight path. And then the CO2 range one bubble, which makes it so that some ships aren't interested. For example, A-wings or Fangs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good ability to pair Pops with them.
But if you want to make like barrage squads, it's good.
That's good. Yeah, it's good.
You don't need to make extra actions to grant focus like Jake, for example, or
That's
meet
true.
some requirements that, like, if you spend the focus, you can transfer it, something like that.
On the other hand, you can be blocked, and you are very limited in your maneuvers.
Yeah, but it's cheap. It's cheap for
that's true.
Just toss a turret on him, and you're good to go.
Call it a day.
Yeah, basically.
I'm not fully convinced, but yeah, perhaps it's a bit like Flight Libre Ubel. It's A in specific squads.
No, I don't agree. You can call.
Do you think it's A?
I3 Y-wing and A at any point.
Yeah.
It's like it's main, like, a working horse.
Yeah, it's a workhorse. Yeah.
Workhorse. Yeah.
And it's but to specific squads. I think supporters can be A, but I would say like it's A only in specific squad, so overall B.
Okay. So for the next one, it's Second Sister. And here I had a disagreement with myself because interceptors are cool ships. They are aces, true aces, and Initiative 4 is good enough. I love Initiative 4. I play a lot of them, more than Initiative 5s or 6. And it's interceptor with 2 4s, and it's really good. An ability is basically for 2 4s, you can turn all your hits into crits. It's really good, and it happens after the neutralize results step, so you are seeing what's coming through and how many hits you can convert into crits. Really reliable, and you can also use force for defense or offense, like turning focuses into results. But an I4 for Second Sister can be a difference between A and B. So I think that force makes it A.
Yeah, I would say force make is A. Honestly, this even going one initiative up or even 2, this would it make instantly S.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yeah, simply because of the force and the really good ability.
Yeah, so force is really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, and even at the price point, like it's one of the third most expensive, but still compared to the generic generic is not a good comp. For like Siena, I think it's a right price point. It's basically the choice with Siena. Do you want to have a 2 ace, which has a negative ability?
Yeah, kind of. More blankish, I'd say, but yeah.
Yeah, more plankish, yeah. But at least you get this positioning, and with Second Sister, you don't get the positioning, but you are way more tanky and more offensive. So it's 2 different play styles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would agree. It's A.
Okay, next one.
Yeah. Then we come to West Jansen after in E5 X-Wing with 48 points. After you perform an attack, you may spend 1 charge to assign the defender 1 gem token. After you defend, you may spend 1 charge to assign the attacker 1 gem token. I shortly debated S, but probably more A. But I think it could save for Wedge and Luke, but Luke is way more expensive. Be one of the strongest abilities in the X-Wing, because yeah, you are a really great debuffer, and it's I think one of the downsides of the X-Wing is that you are of course have six health, but still it can be worn down relatively easily. And with Wes, you get way more survivable.
I don't think so. If maybe if there are lower initiatives than
yeah, lower in first initiative, but I think it's initiative 5 that's lots of ships.
Yeah, he's totally an A because of the gem, and it's really powerful. So if some combos of your opponent relies on tokens, and you can deny it, it's huge.
And he is one of the He's actually very interesting pilot, I think, because he likes to to move first, or at least it's whether you move first or second, you both have positives.
Yeah.
Like if you move first, you are against any 5 more defensive and can jam them their focus or the modification away before they
requirement.
shoot. Yeah.
So
Or
if he flies first, he gets better defense. If he shoots second, he gets oh no, I'm missing something.
yeah, at least he gets reposition, can reposition.
Yeah, and it's important to know that his charge, he has one charge, and it's recurring with one arrow, and so it's he can use it every round. Unlike some pilots like 32C Hyena from Siege of Coruscant, it can jam for charges and only has 2 charges, unrecurrent.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
really
really
strong.
it's really cool for OS to have recurring charge. Yeah, so
Yeah.
totally A. Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with it. For us, I don't know. It's still an X-wing. Its flight pattern is pretty well known.
Yeah, I think out of all the pilots, save for perhaps Dodge, will we come to later, it's the closest to S.
Yeah. So next one. It's Eureka Quell. And Eureka Quell made its way to B, but I consider it be a B+. If we compare to Magna, the first one, Eureka's ability reads: after you fully execute a maneuver, you may acquire a lock on an enemy ship in your bullseye. And it's Initiative 3 with the title Consumed by Duty. And I really like the artwork on the background, the fire, lightning, tornadoes. not tornadoes,
Yeah.
but hurricanes. Yeah, Consumed by Duty. And it's still it's Initiative 3, and so with it can easily align bullseyes for the ability. And the damage output gets bigger than most Thailand fighters. And that's why I consider it to be a B+.
I would actually make the case for A, because because the low initiative could be a feature. You know where the opponent is going, and you get this, and you get this target lock you can't get normally. So out of all the TIE fighters, I would actually say A, and she's really cheap, because she only costs 2 more than the generic, has 2 more initiative, and has a really strong ability. If you want to to compare to other offensive TIE fighters, for example, for Gideon, who has a specific requirement. He is still strong, but he costs 3 more points. I would actually say it's A, because you can somewhat reliably get your lock. You can also reposition and get your lock.
But no, you can only.
Sorry, no, you can't.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's after you fully execute a maneuver, so you can't.
But you can get your lock and then, for example, reposition.
Okay, so if we compare it to other Thailand fighters, yeah, I can say it's A.
Yeah, because
for me, it's a stretch.
Yeah, I would say it's close, but for 24 points, I have a hard time thinking of a better deal you can get as a ship.
Let me see. We have Night Beast at 33, and we can equip a targeting computer on it. So it's 1 point more, and it's double mod with focus and target lock.
But you have one less any, and you need to only have 4 maneuvers.
Blue maneuvers, yeah.
Blue maneuvers. And with your car, you know.
I'd say it's easier. It's easier to do a blue maneuver than to do a bullseye.
Yeah, but you are more limited, and it's more telecraft. Or it's.
But I would put it in B. So
yeah, probably
the final
better.
say, I'd say it B, because
yeah,
bullseye it's not a difficult thing for i3, but you still need to work hard for that.
Okay, then we come to Taiko Keltu with 36 points. I would say it's an. I was tempted for a B, but no. Yeah, he is an A. I would say it's an I5 I-wing. While you have 2 of your stress tokens, you may perform actions even by stress. So it's unfortunately, but probably better balance-wise. Not the old 1.0 ability where the amount of stress doesn't matter, literally never.
That would be too
It was
much.
fun. Yeah, it was fun, but game design-wise and balance-wise, problematic.
Actually, I tried Taiko, and it was really fun and so maneuverable. I did a K-turn over a debris, performed the focus, and fired the proton rocket. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So if you fly Taiko, it's really good to fly through the obstacles.
Yeah. 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 And I think, and at his price point, it's really good. He's he is one point more expensive than Jake, but that you have a higher innie and he fulfills another role. Jake is a really great supporter.
You can't shake him off your tail.
Yeah.
And one thing to notice that I mentioned, that I performed the focus after moving through a debris. It's because a debris gives you only a stress. You don't skip your perform action step, and only rocks and gas clouds skip perform action step.
Actually, I think if you have 2 A-wings, like want to have 2 A-wings, Taiko and Jake are the best combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, for in the sense of efficiency, I would say.
I agree. So we are settled on Taiko.
Yeah, I would say A2.
Okay, the next one is Juno Eclipse. So this one was a harder one because he has Juno Eclipse reads like his ability. After you perform an action, you may perform a red boost action. So he's initiative 5 with basically this ability gives him linked actions for his focus, target lock, and barrel roll. And I was comparing him to Dirge specifically because they have pretty similar movement and in terms of blue. But X1 has 1 Banks blue. Let me remember Dirge. Yeah, Rogue class also have 1 Banks blue. And if you stress yourself constantly, it really affects your flight path, and you get really predictable.
Yeah.
And this fact that he gets more actions, but he gets more predictable. I don't know. I think it's B plus, but not A. Yeah, you can like target lock and get into range 1, but it's really dangerous if you don't kill the ship with detection, or if you want to skip to boost away and not get shot, you lose at least 2 rounds on the turnaround, because someone like Darth Vader with afterburners, he doesn't get stressed in that combo.
Yeah, and you still have the disadvantage that you become predictable, you lose rounds, and it's still still only reposition. I think the biggest problem of the X1, which I would say holds, for example, the other one, the other i5, the Marek. Marek Steel, back from being an A2, is that they are very offensive and lacks defense. Like, yes, you have 3 queens, but if you are constant, if you have to lock, and especially to get your third attack dice, then the second queen, the third queen isn't too much. It isn't,
but
too much of it.
If we compare Juno to Marek, I'd say Marek is A, because if he hits, it's devastating. I've experienced experienced him several times, and it was really scary. So if you play against Juna, you okay, he can maybe evade something, maybe maybe dodge arcs with barrel boost, but playing a lot with barons of first order who doesn't have an ability to boost barrel, but only barrel boost like a Juna. It's not that flexible for an A. I mean, in terms of TIE Advanced X1.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with B. Then
we get to Scum.
Do we want to? Yeah, then we get to Scum. We get to Dr. Afra. Before you engage, you may spend 1 queen token and 1 charge. You only have 3 charges, non-rechargeable. If you do, you may choose another ship at range 0 to 1 that is not stressed. The chosen ship gains 1 stress token and is a YV66.
666.
666, yeah. And it's definitely not A.
I put it in C category.
Yeah, that was my debate too. Yeah,
it's a low initiative. So we have 2 4s and 2 3s now into 666. And her ability based on having a token. And you either want to take reinforce, for example, and leave up to your engagement and then spend it. And with that, you're vulnerable to low initiative squads or separate ships.
Yeah.
Low initiative when you
You
spend your reinforce. And
yeah, you
and if you want to embrace your ability, you need to take upgrades, like 000, for example, which
yeah.
gives you calculate.
Yeah, that's the thing. And on an already very expensive platform that pays for this, the white 3 dice attack arc.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then you have to get you have to spend a queen token. Of course, there is a bit of synergy or a bit of at least when you take the reinforce, if every ship has an high initiative, then this reinforce is useless, would normally be useless. Now you can use it. That's different from, I think, other YV666 who also often take the reinforce and then can use it as a reinforce, but nothing more. But
yeah. So Alpha can see its use.
Yeah.
But in really specific squads, I assume.
Yeah, I think so too. I used to fly very stress heavy, or I experimented with going as stress heavy on Scum as I could be. Not with Dr. Alpha, because I don't have the YV666.
I encountered such a squad on my first tournament in IRL tournament, and I was devastated. It was so it felt so unfair for the new player like me. I even cried a little bit after that.
Yeah, I flew Asajj, Forlorn, and Lando with Triple Zero, which was a fun squad. And in that squad, you could try to fit Ep4 in, but like you said, it's very specific, and I think it profits from having another stressor in your list. Like, I think that's a ship you want to have as many stress effects as you can have, in essence, to really double down on it.
Well, let's move to the next one, Dirge.
Yeah.
So Scum Dirge, he's different from the separatist one, and his ability is. Let me 1 second. While you defend, after the neutralize results step, if there are no more hit crit results, then if there are more hit crit results than your active shields, you may change one hit result to a crit result and cancel one hit. So basically, if you get like 2 hits, for example, you have only 1 shield or no shields, you trade 1 hit for a crit. So 2 hits becomes 1 crit. And from my experience of playing rogues, crits really bad for them. So they are not maneuverable at all. They stress themselves, and the action economy is not very good because of the stress. And I think that this ability is worse than Separatist Dirge. Because you actively take crits, and with that you leave less time. So you get direct hits, for example, fuel leaks, and other things like that. Structural damage.
The issue is that it's not like if there are more red dice rolled than your active shields, which then would be a really amazing ability. The thing is, if this ability triggers, you already are taking damage. So you you are only making something less bad, but yeah, the bad things already happen. You can't evade it fully.
Yeah, for first to attack, maybe it's a good ability, but then you don't want to use it too much.
Yeah, and yeah, it gets worse over the game, which, for example, the separatist dodge is the other way around. Like it's guaranteed, and it's only a positive upside on something which is basically the most negative effect you can have in the game, being removed from the board and negating it.
Yeah. So let's move to the next one.
Then we can move to Lappen. While you defend or perform an attack, if the enemy ship is stressed, that ship's dice cannot be modified. Which, similar to Eureka, I actually would
Similar
say
to Dark Curse, maybe.
that's an yeah, it's like a bit of it's like Dark Curse, but less expensive. And yeah, it's also, of course, conditional, but it's way less expensive. And yeah, the slight upside that I think the Scum tie has over from the chassis alone, it's a better chassis than the Imperial one, because you can go over asteroids.
Yeah.
And so I would say I would actually say it could be an A, simply because it's relatively often that ships stress themselves because they want to get select action, they are doing red maneuvers, and in Scum you have so many options where you can stress ships, or more than in any other faction, I would say.
On the other hand, if you ignore him, nothing happens.
Yeah, that's no. Yeah, while you perform an attack, and
yeah, but it's 2 dice attack, 1 modded dice attack.
Yeah, but I think but on it could be valuable. For example, for hitting above its weight class on expensive 3 dice 3 defense dice ships, which, for example, force users. Even if you get 1 damage on, or you are in range and get 1 damage on a really expensive ship, say Vader, or a defender, it's worth it.
Yeah, but you can't count on it. And if an opponent like tries to shoot it, it loses way more. So it's not profitable to try to kill him unless you don't have more targets.
Yeah, but then, yeah, like I said, yeah, but that's at 25 points. Again, the low price, and especially in the chassis, when we are saying A means it is one of the strongest or the strongest options, and the chassis is an important part, then I would say it's A. 2, because Captain Zero is really, really strong, but he also costs 6 points more. And a half is good, but it's more situational. And yeah, I don't know. Approach
again,
not as good.
To get value out of Sivor, it's pretty easy. But if you meet non-heavy stress squads, Lapin is just a regular initiative 2 tie.
Yeah. Yeah, probably more B. I still think for the cost alone it could be A, but yeah, can settle for B.
Yeah. So the next one is Honda Naka in a fire spray. It's initiative 1 with actually pretty fun and gimmicky ability. So He, as an action, he chooses two non-huge ships at range 0 to 3 of him that are not friendly to each other. So one of yours, one of opponents. Each chosen ship may perform an action that is on your action bar, even while stressed, in order of your choice. So it's either focus, target lock, boost, or red reinforce. And then gain one calculate token. So, no, he's a pretty good blocker, and it's still a fire spray, and really fun ability. He can see some use. I assume. So, for example, you can target enemy ships that will not gain much from your actions. For example, they already did a focus, target lock, and they know where to boost, for example, or you are not shooting that ship and it chooses to perform a reinforce, for example, with the stress. Maybe there could be some smart play, but I'm not sure for certain.
Yeah, that's the issue. I agree with you. It's a really fun ability, but at the end of the day, you're giving an action away on an expensive ship, which and you are initiative 1. Yeah. And
so
you are doing
you're 1 point more than initiative 2 generic.
Yeah, but the trade-off, the huge trade-off is that you need an action.
And you trade it for it's a coordinate with the calculate.
Yeah, that's
so win-win situation.
That's true. Yeah,
he gives something to everybody.
Yeah, but you're also buffing an opponent ship.
Yeah, maybe someday I will play him and see for myself.
That's why I think I even could see an argument for C, because the thing is, you are buffing an opponent too. You need really know when the use case makes sense and when it doesn't make sense. And if he doesn't use it, he is just a more expensive generic with an initiative lower.
I can see that, but what I wonder that there are players who choose to play, for example, 3 bounty hunters with some upgrades, and they are pretty decent in terms of efficiency against lower 2 mid skill players. So they still have a lot of health, good attack, wide coverage with arcs, and he can benefit these lists because he gets a calculate, he can coordinate one of the fire sprays. So maybe it's better to use in such a list.
Yeah, probably perhaps B. Yeah, I would say that for B. The thing is, gaining a calculate is still worse than having a focus. But yeah, you are getting a coordinate, and you have at least a really wide bubble to see when the buffing the opponent ship isn't an issue.
Yeah. And you can.
That's true. So
yeah. Yeah, and it's initiative 1, so it's an excellent blocker.
Yeah, probably beats more fair. Okay, the last one. The last one, Typhoon. After you perform an attack, it's a tank fighter, initiative 3. With he costs 47 points. After you perform an attack, if the defender was destroyed, you may perform an action, even while stressed. Then you may gain 2 strain token to perform a bonus attack. I would say B2, because Fangs like having high initiative. And bonus attacks are really strong, but the other thing is it doesn't trigger often, and you have less or not good. You don't have such a good control because you need to destroy ships, and you specifically need to destroy ships. Of course, then you gain an action, but the flip side from the bonus attack is that you gain 2 strain tokens, which means your defensive go down, which on such a flimsy ship isn't so good, or it's not good.
Yeah, and with the Concordia face-off, it's somehow hard to maintain it because you're initiative 3 and you can't predict what actions and what maneuvers will the opponent do for high initiative ships, so they can like barrel out of your way into range 2 and shoot you without any bonuses from Concordia face-off.
Yeah, and then when you compare it, inside is chassis. I think Cat Solos, for example, is stronger.
Yeah,
because
even Joy Rekov with the need to take ion torpedoes is also good.
So yeah, do we want to have it in like when we are discussing it now? Do you think it's C or still B?
I don't,
because of the bonus attacks, it's B.
I see him in some design space of Whirlwind in TIE Whisper Modified Interceptor, but they are like on the opposite sides of it. So Whirlwind gets focuses from each forward arc that he's in at the time of his engagement. So he needs to survive before his initiative, and after that he is really powerful. This Torfan, I like to call him Torfan for fun. Yeah, so he needs to wait for his initiative to shoot and gets his drawbacks only if he kills someone. So he lacks defensive ability against lower initiative, while Whirlwind is stronger against lower initiatives. So, but I won't. But Whirlwind is a B. He's not an A.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
don't think
know,
he's an
yeah,
A.
I know chassis is like different, very different. But I don't know whether Typhoon should be C or B. But I put it.
Yeah, I think you can make cases for both.
Yeah. Okay. I think that we should let it for judgment of our listeners and viewers.
Yeah, we would really love to hear feedback. That's actually a very fun part, and we hope to get more of it, because interacting with the community, discussing rankings, that's what makes X-Wing tick to a degree, I would say.
Yeah, I really loved to see Dolce's rank, and to see that most of our choices connect with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to see more opinions on these tiers. And and to make your life easier, we even managed to went it under 1 hour this time with 5 more pilots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We were relatively fast this time.
Yeah, so we would like to see your reaction and to see you just listening to our podcast. We are doing it for you, or in the first place. And really, we are really looking for your feedback, for your communication. Just even if you don't have something specific to say, just come by in our Discord channel and say hi. or like whether you liked it or not. Like yes or no, even it helps.
Yeah, and even if you think you are a new player and you haven't played enough, no worry. Just any opinion, any discussion, anything is very appreciated.
Yeah, it's just our opinion, and
Yeah.
if you really differ from our rank, it's nothing a big deal, not a big deal. We will look visit it with interest.
Yep. Okay, then thank you for listening. And until next time.
Yeah, fly safe. See you in next time.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Until next time. Bye bye.